Shalom. All praise to Yahweh, Bashem, Yahushua, Bashem, HaKadosh. The one to say elder apostles, the great most, and the rule well. And shalom to the brothers and the work concerning truth, pushing this word to the four corners. Yeah, just saw this clip, and it kind of encapsulates. You kind of had Trump. He's done a lot. As far as with the what do you call it, militarizing the police, not even the police, sending in National Guard troops into different cities in the U.S. Functionally to saying he's going to clean up crime. This as far as when you look at prophecy, it's basically leading up to the key thing is going to be Jacob's trouble. That's the main thing to look at. That's the main thing to look at, to kind of be working out what it all means. And then with these things being spoken about, it's like you can see it's leading to Jacob's trouble, and it's functionally pushing towards it. And you've had like kind of what's it called, not feedback, pushback on, where was it? It was for Chicago, I believe, or was it Detroit? I can't remember. But it was like the latest one he said was Portland. And that was one of the super defund police spots where they had all kinds of madness going on. So that's why you kind of have the hands coming off the wheel, and chaos just kind of being allowed to run rampant. A lot of it facilitated by different forms of social media, different websites and whatnot, where because you've basically had it pushed through where people can feel comfortable saying and doing a lot of madness. Then you've basically just kind of like had it just expand out there, where all kinds of madness can go down, and it's normal, and people are with it, people are vibing with it, people are in the spirit of it. And that's like the big thing online that's kind of got discussion in like governments and whatnot, and all over is just what's it called, the Charlie, what's his name, Charlie Kirk. That's become the flashpoint. And here in the UK, they've already got it set over here, where it's a nothing whatsoever to it's nothing whatsoever for people to say stuff online, for you to have the cops come against you, and you're cooked. You have police come up. There was the clip of saying like, oh, your daughter's been posting something online, she's gonna have to come down to the station, because why, it's like that's established over here, but that's being set up over in the States. So all these things are being put together, and then again it's like over here as well, it's a bit further forward, because you have like the Brit card being pushed, where it's like for you to work, for you to rent certain places, open a bank account, you're gonna need it. And again, you go to prophecy. What's gonna clarify it for you is the mark, man. The MOTB. So I play this.
Fire department. I always put the fire department in because they're great. They're great, and I got 95% of their vote too. That helps. When you get 95% of their vote, you always have to mention them. But they're great, and they're brave in our inner cities, which we're going to be talking about, because it's a big part of war now. It's a big part of war. But the firemen go up on ladders.
Like he said, the inner cities are a big part of war. So that means that the dynamic of sending in those troops is then clarified from that. It's conflict. They're gonna people are saying, oh, it's not gonna it's obviously gonna be utilized. It's gonna mean be something meaningful. They're gonna be utilized for, man. Which is funny as hell when you think about it. Like it's actually amusing as all hell, because people really weren't thinking like it was gonna they weren't thinking Well, a lot of people were voting in Trump, assuming that he was going to be, some kind of ally, some kind of, superhero uh, towards, what do you call it? Towards them. And now they've been feeling the brunt. Uh, and the main thing they've been really been feeling the brunt of is those military capabilities, man. I say the military capabilities is one thing. The other thing is the no, the economy. That's the thing. They're saying, "Oh, I voted him in for cheaper gas or petrol. Sorry, cheaper unleaded. I voted him in for cheaper eggs. I voted him in for cheaper beef. These are the things that they were thinking, and now they've realized this guy's not about their agenda. He's basically coming through with his own plans that basically centered around what he's doing, and it's not to the benefit of the average Joe. The average Joe is not going to be feeling jumping for joy what he's doing, and that's how it's always been with these politicians with different just politicians, different world leaders. They're working towards what their owners, the people who have control of the finances, that have governments in their pocket, the financial elite. They're the ones that actually have sway over what they're doing. They're working for the benefit of them, which is why it's like, I was talking about a camp last week, and the week before is what came up again was, Margaret Thatcher and Reagan basically sold out the industrial side of the West, mainly in America and the UK, and then with that being sold out, you then have where it seemed like temporarily there was an uptick, for certain people and for certain locations within the US. There's and the UK, there's ways to make money and kind of get ahead, but then by and large, you're fucked, you're cooked, you're washed. Like when you get into like the Midwest, they call it, oh well, no, flyover states is the term in the states, flyover states, and then here it'll be like the Midlands, the north of the country, basically anywhere other than London and the southeast. It's basically on a third world level over here in the UK. So because these dynamics are happening because why these people in charge are working for the financial elite. They're not thinking about, oh we're gonna do it. We're thinking about We're thinking about little Daisy, little Tom. Little Daisy and Tom ain't at the forefront, man. They're not the focus. Daisy and Tom are cooked, man. Daisy and Tom ain't got no future. Daisy and Tom have just graduated from have just graduated. Yeah, just graduated into the job market from uni, and there's no jobs going. They've graduated to working at MacD's. Huh. Finish this.
People shooting at them while they're up in ladders. I don't even know if anybody heard that, but. And I said, don't talk about it much, but I think you have to. Our firemen are incredible. They're up in one of these ladders that goes way up to the sky, rescuing people, and you have animals shooting at them. Shooting bullets at firemen that are way up in death territory. You fall off that ladder, it's over. Fire department. I always put the fire department in because they're great. They're great. And I got 95% of their vote, too. That helps. When you get 95% of the vote, you always have to mention them. But they're great. And they're...
replayed. So yeah, talking about... I think I did see... Well, actually, no. I saw the guy... A video of someone, like, on a ladder getting shaken down. But that was in the UK. That was the flags thing. Because it was taken down, the St. George's Cross. Funny as hell. They say we never send the troops to the inner city. He has them parade around the National Mall and the Miracle Mile. Miracle Mile, which a tourist area reservation around the war, coming soon to a theater near you. I guess he's keeping his promise. No foreign wars. We didn't know he meant domestic war instead. Yeah, so people are looking at these things where now it's at the they've realized. Well, I say people. Some people have realized, but a lot of people are still lackadaisical as far as towards it. They don't really think it's gonna amount to much. And they're in for a shock, man. Revelation 12 and 12 says, "Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and the sea, and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time." And yeah, that's a big aspect of it, is they're now looking to just get shit on smash, which means which means that the people are gonna feel it, man. People are gonna feel it. So I was even gonna read, you know what? I'll read this. 2 Esdras 9 and 1. It says, "He answered me then and said, Measure thou the time diligently in itself, and when thou seest part of the signs pass, which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand that is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made." And yeah, that's the thing is we're seeing signs of the times. The brick card, signs of the times. The troops being deployed out into out into American cities, where it started with DC and it's spread to various different cities. And this is still year one. We're still in year one of Trump, where all these things have happened. So that means that by year two, year three, if we get there, then it's going to be far more instituted. And then what was it say? When the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world, then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that before thee, even from the beginning. And yeah, that's how we can kind of piece it together. Well, we can piece it together as prophecy. Huh. Prophecy. Finish on this. Ecclesiastes 12 and 1 says, "Remember now thy Creator in the days of thy youth, when the evil days come not, nor the years draw nigh, when thou shalt say, I have no pleasure in them. While the sun or the moon or the sun or the light or the moon or the stars be not darkened, nor the clouds return after the rain. In the days when the keepers of the house shall tremble, and the strong men shall bow themselves, and the grinders cease because they are few, and those that look out the windows will be darkened." And yeah, that grinding ceasing, man, that's going to be a huge aspect. The economy, the ability to make money, the ability to maintain your life through, purchasing, spending cash money. That's a big aspect of what people are kind of what people are kind of looking at these things from, man. Soon as that all comes to a stop, that's when they're really going to feel it. "And the door shall be shut in the streets, when the sound of the grinding is low, and he shall rise up at the voice of the bird, and all the daughters of music shall be brought low." And yeah, when the sound of the grinding is low, man, even those daughters of music, a lot of what they do is just for cash money as well. There's a lot of these institutions where it's purely built around means for people to make money. People might be funded in creative ventures. What was it called in back in the day? It would be patronage. A patron of the arts, where they would kind of throw money at someone and be like, "Okay, you paint me this, or I'm going to fund your lifestyle so you can create some art." But now it's something that a big part of it is monetizing it. It's all become content, because that kind of keeps people in the mix, and that's the bread and circus, man. Keeping people drawn to this place where they think, "Oh, I could never go to medieval times. Oh, how did I survive without TikTok and whatever the fuck, Netflix, and smartphones, PlayStations. These are, these are the things that people are like, they think all this tech and the distraction of these times is the pinnacle of life. Not realizing what they're missing, but that keeps them, drunk on this system, man. But yeah, when the troops are coming through though, how long is that gonna run? But yeah, I'll leave it there. Shalom, shalom.